This land wholesaler cut his cost per deal in half, converts 33% of his Google leads into contracts, and built an AI agent that runs his entire business. And right now, he's on track to scale to 7 figures. I brought Bryan Payne into our RApreneurs community to break down the exact system behind it. In this session, we go deep on his entire lead gen, sales, dispo, and AI stack that most land investors don't even know exists. Scaling to 7 figures in land wholesaling is not luck, it's a system. And this is exactly what that system looks like.
We decided to do something special today, and it's we're gonna go over the business of one of our clients, Bryan Payne, that has a wholesaling land business, and how he's actually going to be scaling to 7 figures, multiple 7 figures, while now currently having multiple 6 figures business. And what I want to do today is I kind of want to break down the business by all the different departments, right? So lead gen, sales, nurture, follow up, back end fulfillment, and disposition, and how he has everything set up so that we can learn how he's been able to grow in the last 6 months or more actually with us, and how he's going to be achieving $1 million years and plus. Okay, and how we're going to scale to that point. So right now, Bryan, real quick, where are you at in the business, and where were you before?
Yeah. Well, we're kind of a high-level snapshot. I did house flipping a while ago, and but 3 years ago, a little less. I kind
Quando è così vuol dire che l'hanno flatten, vero? Se non riesco a muoverlo.
Whoa, that just scared me.
I was like, I don't speak that language.
Let me see. Sounds like Italian or something. I'm just muting her.
There you go. Right. Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, so we started out by flipping houses, but then pivoted to doing spec homes and custom homes, and then realized we needed more and more land for our deals, and that led us to kind of switch over into land wholesaling full time. And so, yeah, 2.5 years ago or so, switched over in that, and then really built it from the ground up there, just with kind of all the traditional methods, just mailers and wholesaling, assigning deals, and continued doing direct mail, cold calling, cold texting up until about, I guess, October last year is when I met you, Esteban, and I switched everything over into Google PPC for lead gen, and that's kind of changed how we manage leads and how we go from there. But yeah, that's brought in a different type of lead that we've been able to put a lot under contract and build inventory up. We were at 30 deals in inventory last month, and I think we're down to about 22 now. But we're yeah, just a lot more leads now than we've had before, but a lot fewer leads to manage, I guess, is what I'm saying. So they're better quality leads now than we've had in the past. So they're more motivated.
Yeah. And what's your current state of the business right now? So what's what's your team size? What's your, if you can share, maybe revenue, profit, and so on?
Yeah. So we've done basically revenues a little over 400 for this year, profits about 100,000, and then looking at doing we do entitlement deals and subdivides as well, because in land there's a lot more exit strategies, and so projecting going out this year, we have about one entitlement deal is about 1.4 million in profit, and that's split between partners. So that'll be about a 500,000 payday for me the rest of the year. So we're targeting to be, a couple million in revenue by the end of the year, but under that in profit. So this year we won't hit the 1 million mark this year, but that's the goal for next year and more. So that's it's a combination of the land flips, subdivides, entitlement deals, but again, all land deals that you kind of evaluate the leads and what the best end use is for that property, and then you can actually follow through on that play. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Okay, I'm going to share with you guys how I kind of follow, how my brain follows the growth of a company. So I got here this document that I use. I don't know if you guys can share my can view my screen. Can you guys view my screen?
Yeah, I like this sheet. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is essentially reverse engineering the scaling roadmap, right? And I shared it a couple of times already, but Bryan had an issue with his numbers were not really making sense when he was doing the other marketing channels. Hold on.
Yeah.
So his numbers were not making sense. Like he was paying a lot, he was putting a lot more energy, a lot more time into getting lower quality leads. And at the end, his costs were just not making sense because he was also not getting a return of investment for the time that he was actually putting it into the deals, right? So he was able to shorten that up to he was paying now more per lead and spending a lot more money upfront to acquire these lead opportunities. But then, if you were to reverse engineer the unit economics, how much was a deal now worth for you, and how fast were you actually closing that deal, Bryan, after you started doing Google?
Yeah, we've basically cut our cost per deal in half, and our kind of average profit with land kind of hovers around 8,000 to 10,000 per deal. Some of them are 4,000, some of them are 50,000, and those are all wholesale and assignment fees. And so usually we target about 90 to 120 days from initial lead contact to realize profit. That's our goal. And so yeah, the turnaround time again has been much quicker than flipping houses, that kind of thing. But yeah, as far as the cost per lead, we're under 200 right now. So, and we do nationwide too, so we do a lot of different states, which helps for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. So obviously nationwide is helped you. Now, did you think that you needed to go nationwide, or you think you could have probably done it like local?
I was trying to do it local. I mean, most people start out that way, and I lived in Arizona at the time. And it was good. You could do a lot of deals that way, but it seems like we're in a day and age where our industry has really matured, and you can do some deals in your backyard, and that's great. But I think to really compete, you've got to at least select multiple markets, even if you do 3 or 4 versus just one, because I don't think like the days of easy flips are here anymore. I think you do have to put quite a bit of effort in, whether it's land or houses, and all the big players are really automating and tackling a lot larger markets, and so I think it's really beneficial to actually have that kind of widespread perspective and be open to take deals in different markets. So it's interesting how automation now can kind of level the playing field, because even if I don't know a market and a land deal comes in a state I haven't even worked, in 10 minutes I have AI and automations built out that will give me all of the points I need for that market, like how hot it is, average market price, how quick deals move. Like it gives me all the specs, and so I can make adequate offers for that market, even though that's not my go-to market. And so it just really helps add in more and more deals.
Okay, that sounds good. So at that point, you realize, okay, I need something that could give me just a faster return of investment, and then also according to the market conditions, allowed me to just expand in territories that I guess were not as competitive as as the ones that you're in, right? And then and you realize, okay, going nationwide or multi-statewide with land was a good idea, right? Now, in terms of the mastering offers and ways that you would want to increase your ROI from the same leads that you were doing, how do you achieve that with land? Because I know with like wholesaling, you can just like do novations, and you can also wholesale, and you can also flip, and you can also like send it to an agent. Like, did you do something for this?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I mean. Your team, especially Carlos, has really been analyzing our calls and helping us kind of not just use the correct language, but get, understand where the seller's at, so we can actually serve that seller better. Because I think a lot of people get into real estate, we're just wanting, quick money and things like that. But I think in any business, you've really got to figure out how to serve the client really well. And the ones who do that best, I think, will get more deals under contract. And so in 2026, like a lot of buyers are wanting seller finance. And so, we've kind of modified our scenario to where we're really focused more on seeing if we can get the sellers to be the bank as well, and then do like a wrap. And so we're basically doing a double close where both sides are doing financing. And so it's still the way that we can come into a deal with zero money, but we actually maximize what the seller gets then, but also our buyer pool is larger because we can now offer it to, anybody that just has, $5K to put down, $10K to put down, whereas, the cash buyers just really aren't out there anymore. There's a few, but it really opens up the opportunities there on both sides.
Okay. And just for everyone that is not familiar with land, what is the biggest difference between like wholesaling land and wholesaling houses?
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of differences. But the core is the same. Obviously, you seller lead, get it under contract, find a buyer. But with land, there's less opportunities, but there's and less buyers. But land really is like people have less attachment with land. Oftentimes the owners are out of state. They've inherited properties. They just owe a ton of back taxes. There's no physical structure that they have memories with, right? And so people tend to, like we usually make offers at about 40 to 50% of market value. And that's generally where we lock things up at. The really high dollar ones, like we'll go 60% of market value, but you're able to get in and understand where these people are at, but there's no attachment there. And so it's a lot easier than than getting, houses locked up, which that's the part. And like, the famous saying is no tenants, no termites, no toilets. Like there's like a massive amount of headaches that you relieve by not having to, flip houses and kind of uncover surprises behind the walls, which I've been there, done that, and moved on. So I respect the house guys out there because you guys deal with a lot of competition and a lot of headaches, but yeah, I love dirt, and so there's a lot you can do with it.
Yeah, that's good. Now, the predictable acquisition system, right? So getting a lot more opportunities in your pipeline at a predictable basis where okay, this month I'm going to have X amount when I'm going to be putting X amount of money. And therefore I can predict whether with my closing ratio, with my show up ratio, with the way that I'm doing things, I can predict how I'm going to do next month. So let's put that apart. What did you build Obviously that you started getting Google Ads leads and so on, but what did you build, and how is it set up right now so that you can actually leverage the right lead generator,
Yeah.
and getting the right marketing KPIs, to the point where now you're spending a little bit more on ad spend, and then obviously like nailing down those processes so you could potentially close.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's, I guess the Google PPC, it's nice because you know your cost per lead, you know really how many leads are going to come in each week. And again, it's cash flow, right? Because I think most of us as investors, that's like the number one problem. And so, you know, I prioritize anytime cash does come in, like we keep the marketing going, because that's the key, right? Like, I think in May, 18 leads came in total, and we got 6 of them under contract. So it was pretty consistent with how we've been doing. And it's like I used to have to, you know, go through 100 leads just to get 6 under contract like that. So one, we're just leveraging our time better because, you know, keeping that consistent marketing going, you do get consistent leads, just a couple a day, and it's not overwhelming, but they're always warm leads, and that's the predictability of it. So again, it's cash flow, like making sure, you know, you always keep the marketing going, which, you know, to be honest, is sometimes hard, right? But it's crazy because sometimes you get 50K deals, sometimes you get 4, and so you're trying to keep that consistency going. And but again, number one is really keeping those leads coming in with the marketing.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the main 3. Let's talk about outbound, cold, and also inbound. Obviously with inbound, you got Google PPC. What else you got for inbound? Is that it?
That's it. I put it all in one basket. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're right now at the, you know, 40 to 60K month mark. So, you know, having one and nailing it down is okay, as long as you're able to, you know, create predictability, and then adding more marketing channels as you grow, obviously is important. But what about outbound? Any outbound right now?
We were going to add back in direct mail, but we're trying to, you know, get more organic tools out there that just support our Google campaigns. So that's what we're doing as well. I mean, you know, everything from YouTube to Facebook posts to different things like that to just support the PPC.
Have you started working on let's say your website or SEO or AI optimization or something like that just yet? You know, posting on Google.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've actually started using AI. You know, I've built my own clone, and I use it daily on every deal, every project, every post, emails. I'm even teaching a cohort right now specifically to land investors, just how you can leverage AI in your business. And so, you know, it's been invaluable, especially to compete at that higher level in this market.
How are you using AI right now? Just curious.
So I've built it so that it gives me one, it's a deal analyzer. 2, it can pull all the due diligence without having to use third-party companies. It's rebuilt my, you know, offer like purchase agreements. It's rebuilt my scripts. I've turned it into a custom GPT where my VAs input all the information from the initial lead intake calls, and then it spits out what my VA still needs, the information it needs to make the second offer call. And it says you can't make that offer call until we have this information. And so they collect it, and then it spits out the whole script personalized to that lead each time, so that we don't have one generic script for everyone, but it really meets their pain points and tells that VA, you know, how to have that conversation. on my big land deals, like it's written all of the emails to my lenders to get approval for, a $3.2 million loan. So it's it helps the little deals, it helps the big deals, and it even analyzes the market and gives me a weekly update on exactly on what's going in the land space, the real estate in general, what I should watch out for, the changes in state by state requirements for wholesalers. So it's again a daily tool for me. So
yeah. And you said you build a clone. Is that for
Yeah.
your YouTube or your social media, or is that what you're talking about just now?
That's what I'm talking about right now. Yeah. So
Okay.
I call it my AI land partner. Yeah. He helps me in every area of the business. So he does develop on a 2-week schedule. Like he'll analyze the market, pull what's important to sellers, buyers, wholesalers, and develop a YouTube script or Facebook posts, and then just record it.
You
So
start putting all your testimonials, case studies on YouTube already, and maybe developing. What's your website and what's your YouTube channel?
well, that's what it's just starting. So the website is landmadeeasy.com. So the testimonials, that's what I want to focus on getting online. I haven't done a ton of those yet. So, but yeah, this is a website. And then, okay, try minimansionsllc.com. I don't know if you spelled it right. You got 2 N's in there.
Oh, my bad. So right here, sell land.
Yeah, and that's sell land is the funnel. So, and find land is our available properties. But
Okay. So that's your website or landmadeeasy.com?
yeah, both reroute to the same thing. So
Okay. Got it. All right. So this is mainly for sellers, right?
yeah, if you go back, there's more for buyers, or scroll down, but
organic. This is for organic traffic, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Okay. And so I mean, obviously with land, it's a little bit more niche than wholesaling for sure. Are you how are you planning to make yourself an authority in this niche so that people also send you their deals?
Yeah, so that's already started. I've barely started using YouTube, so that's probably a major one that I'm focusing on right now, and also Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Those would be the organic channels that would be kind of like using for leverage as one. Okay. Now I know you started like tracking your KPIs really, really well. Can you teach us how you're tracking everything so that you know your numbers to the T?
Yeah. Well, you guys provided me a spreadsheet that has been invaluable because it tracks everything from the time a lead comes in to the time we actually respond to them. And so, trying to get the VAs down to calling within 5 minutes. And so also to support that, we created an AI agent that reaches out to them and calls them, but you have built-in autoresponders as well that text and email immediately. Yeah. So no lead is left hanging within the first 5 minutes. And that's huge for KPIs, but also then just understanding, how many have had offers, how many have been followed up with, how many actually close, so all the KPIs, it's pretty standard for houses or land, but yeah, it's all on the spreadsheet. So
at this point you would have like used like Claude or something to create your own dashboard or something. But
yeah, Claude is definitely integrated in there pretty heavily. So yeah.
What do you do with Claude?
Well, he analyzes it weekly, and then we have a team meeting on Thursdays, and so He pulls in all the information from that spreadsheet, our Slack channel, to see how active everybody is, and basically gives a message with our team meeting link and says, hey, these are highlights. This is where we're at. Number of deals closed this week. This person posted 5 properties. It gives us a summary, so the whole team's on the same page, and I don't even have to touch it anymore. It's just all agentic. So.
And is it like a triggered agent or autonomous agent?
It's autonomous in that it's a scheduled task, so it runs automatically. Yeah, every Thursday before our meeting.
Okay, that's good. So what's the prompt basically? Like, take a look at our numbers and it's do you connect the CRM, or what's the prompt that you ask?
So you guys have to come to my land cohort class. I've built a whole library for all of these things that I share, but it's basically once you have built kind of that clone that understands your business deeply on a deep level, then the instruction you give it is basically, here's all the connectors, Gmail, Google Drive, to all your spreadsheets, all the different Slack channels, all of that, and say, hey, review all of these based on my business model, based on the history, where we're tracking. Give us a summary of how we are doing this week, who's being quiet, who's overperforming, that kind of thing. And it's ask it. It'll build you a prompt and say, hey, what else do you need to build this prompt fully, and just keep working through it. But that's the best way to do it.
Good. All right. So when the leads come in, do you send them some sort of package so that they are a lot more warmed up about your company right now? Is there anything you send them?
Oh, you say as far as like for new leads that come in?
Yeah, when the new leads come in, and then ultimately making them really bought into your company. Is there anything that you do different?
So yes and no, and I'm constantly improving. This is where I think you want to be set apart from all the others out there. Is it's really how you cue people up. I'm trying to figure out how, it's not just how you have the conversation, it's everything you do before the conversation. And so even right now, I'm adding even additional emails that they get before our scheduled appointment call. And so they just have a little quick 2-minute, hey, I'm Bryan, welcome, to Land Made Easy. We want to make sure you're taken care of. And you're going to be talking to my senior land advisor. He's got all the details on your property and just wants to find out a little bit more, your scenario, your situation. And so looking forward to, getting on the call with you soon. And so just that kind of, hey, we're human, in this world of AI, we need to have AI actually amplify our human side, and it just warms up those leads that much more. So I think that's where if you're not leveraging it to do that, then you're kind of missing out on some opportunity there. So, but yeah, all the texts, the emails, warming up the lead before your call is key.
And your setter is essentially you book appointments straight, or your setter is booking appointments for you? How's that set up right now?
Yeah, I don't take any of the calls from the leads. We hired a guy through your guys' remote Latinos program, and he is our sole lead acquisition guy, and we call him our senior land advisor. So that way the leads understand they're talking to someone of value when they're on the call. But yeah, all the leads go through the form for PPC, and then we call them back within 5 minutes to get their information. And while we're on the call number 1 with them, then he sets an appointment to make the offer.
Okay.
So it's a two-step process. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you doing these appointments via phone, or is it going to be a Zoom call?
All phone. Yeah. We don't do any video calls. Yeah.
Okay. No problem.
Yep.
Okay. And what do you do? How do you have your lead management set up right now? And essentially, how you're making sure that you're touching every lead and so on.
Yeah, it's all through our CRM. So, and we use Go High Level, and so you have a bunch of platforms that you've integrated with our Go High Level, and so it's all through the pipeline there that every lead gets tracked, and then obviously we keep our spreadsheets updated too for tracking KPIs.
Got it. Anything that you have implemented so that your setters can, coexist with the closers, and that there is really good communication for the leads?
Yeah, that's one thing is really just leveraging the software like we already use, because there's so many things built in, like internal comments or the notes. That's been huge, just in transparency, so that every time the initial call is taken, all the notes are saved in there. I review it. I give internal comments saying, yes, this offer is approved. And that keeps everything transparent for the team.
Yeah. So essentially, you're using mostly Go High Level and essentially the features there for communication and just managing the pipeline. So you built everything under that one platform, right?
Yep. And that's my goal, is to be as simplified on software as possible, so I don't have tons of different integrations, but also automate as much as possible, so I have to have as few VAs as possible. So, and Go High Level allows you to do that.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about sales, because I know that you were very invested when you came into learning proper, sales frameworks and NPQ and so on, and also making sure that your hires were also very, very bought into this as well. Mm-hmm. So what is it that you were able to compare to before, kind of integrate and just improve overall? How do you have it set up?
Yeah, one, I have my VA attend your NEPQ session every week, so it's like just more training on understanding the psychology of a call, and truly getting pain points, not for the purpose of ammo against them, to get them to understand your offers, but like truly understanding where they're coming from, so that you can actually communicate on a level that's actually going to help them, if that makes sense. And so, it's kind of having that culture of sales for the purpose of serving the client, not just sales to make money. So I think that's been really important, at least to me, because I don't want to come off as the scummy, real estate investor to these people. We want to actually serve them. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So with your team, how is your sales team set up right now at this current moment?
On the seller side or on the dispo side?
The seller side.
So on the seller side, we basically have PPC leads coming in. We take the offer call. We have one VA on the acquisition side. He collects all the information. He gives it to me. I review after he comps the property. I review it to confirm the offer that we're going to make. We do two offers, one cash and one creative financing. And then we present the cash. If it's too low, we say we have this premium offer where you can be the bank and you can actually make interest on this property. And so they're leaning more towards that. After we've implemented that for the last couple of months, and so there seems like we have more going that route, just because it actually gets closer to the dollar amount they want after they include all the payments. But then he makes the offer call, and when we can, we try to walk through the contract, or if there's not all the decision makers on that call, then we schedule a third call and then make sure all the decision makers are there. But it sounds good. It's not always possible, but when you can, get everybody on the call, and then once they're under contract, then that starts the dispo process. So
Yeah. Okay. How are you making sure that your current team are like always aligned and always keeping up with the right skills and consistency when talking to sellers? We all know that we're dealing with humans, that having to talk with people, and then sales essentially becomes very like it fluctuates based on energy. How are you making sure that you're keeping managed and consistent?
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking to VAs daily, making sure they're good and they have what they need. And also just, I think the process is the follow-up. We've built the framework. They have the reminders of this is our system and our flow, and we have to stay within that. Otherwise, we start to see some, more pushback from sellers or less closed deals. And so just kind of the reminders of, hey, this is our process, this is how we operate. And then just the continual buy-in, for any PQ or attending the meeting. So
are you meeting with one person like every day or every other day? Like, how's that going on?
Usually we're talking on the phone every day. So that's usually our go-to. We don't do video calls except for once a week on Thursdays. So as a team. Yeah.
So on the phone, you mean like a WhatsApp call or
Yep.
like Slack?
Yep. WhatsApp call. Yep.
Okay, that makes total sense. Yeah. And then you're ensuring that you're are you doing like a huddle every morning, or are you like how are you starting the day?
No, and we have like a group Slack channel so that everybody's updated on there, and then every time a contract gets signed, it automatically notifies the Slack channel of a new deal, and then we have a 7-day to listing, 7-day process to get the listing live. And so obviously acquisition, VA has captured all the details of the property, and then the dispo team has 7 days to get it listed and live through that communication channel. So everybody's in there, and it gives, we're 3 days in, it gives automatic updates to the team, that kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about your dispo and TC structure that you currently have. Like you said that you have also a sales team for your dispo. How's that set up right now?
Yeah, so it's a combo. So we have internal team members and external. So there's a company called Top Broker. I know you work with, Esteban. They're able to get our deals on the MLS. But then we also have due diligence in-house. We list on land.com, Facebook Marketplace. That's where we sell half our deals probably. And really focus on posting on Marketplace, but also sharing to groups, messaging people same day. I just had a guy that does 30 hours a week, just Facebook. So he posts properties, messages them, shares in groups, all that. So, but yeah, that's kind of our dispo side. And TC, Top Broker will do the TC as part of that if they sell the deal. Otherwise, we work directly with online title companies and manage that ourselves. So
it's crazy how Facebook is still a place where people buy land.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. And even more so, especially with seller financing, they want the deals. And if it's over $100,000 like type property, you might get less buyers on Facebook, but kind of the under 100K, which is the majority of land deals, then a lot of the buyers are on there.
Yeah. Okay. Who still actually sells wholesale properties through Facebook groups, through Facebook Marketplace here? I'm actually curious. Is that still a thing, or not really?
I mean, I do, but I haven't tried doing houses on there. So actually, I did get a house that came through, our PPC campaign still, and I have 3 interested buyers on there from Facebook. So I can't say it doesn't work for houses either. So
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so your dispo process, right? From the handoff of that contract to actually getting dispo, how's that set up? How's that done on your end?
So as far as like contract to title company,
Yeah.
So it does. I've got some workflows built out where once we have a signed contract from a seller, it forwards me an email with all of the seller's information, property information, and I forward that to the title company for whichever state it's in, and just attach the contract to that email. And so it's just a 30-second, hey, open escrow, please, and send me the title report.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the disposition, the internal disposition people, you also hire them from Remote Latinos or from where?
Let's see, where did I get those guys from? Upwork, and you guys are looking for just a dispo manager for me right now through Remote Latinos, because then I can step out of that role too. But yeah, I mostly Upwork is where we find our people.
Nice.
Yeah.
What playbooks or SOPs do you have to build in order to just start delegating this?
What playbooks? Gosh, I think some of the best advice I've gotten is you can't scale if you don't simplify.
Mm-hmm.
And I think anytime you can take different parts of your business and simplify, like stupid simplify, right? Like easy automation reminders so they never miss a beat. Like you've got to break down which areas actually work. Like I found that Facebook really works for land. And so I was like, okay, well, how do we capitalize on that? Because, I figured out a process and a flow and a follow-up system and have my Facebook guy do that. And so like that's his playbook. He knows exactly what to do for each property, what pictures to have, what type of description. I mean, I built an AI GPT that does all the descriptions for him. We basically put a property in and it spits out the descriptions for Facebook, for land.com, for investor base, for investor lift, whatever the platform is that we're going to be posting, it writes the description to target that audience. And so they just copy paste that. So then I don't have to worry about teaching them the skills to write the description. It's consistent across our business.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about how you're going to essentially be growing to the 100K months, right? This is where we're essentially are having to let go. I mean, do the things that generate a lot more money better, but also start letting go of that and just essentially develop leadership, and create those systems and playbooks and processes to be able to hand it off. Because it's not easy to hand it off, right? Like if you're gonna be looking for a dispo manager, that means that someone's gonna be making you money. Needs to be making you a lot more money because dispo is important, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, okay, what's your plan there? How you're gonna what's your plan on growing through like talented people, building the right team? What is it that you thought of right now?
Obviously that's a learning curve because you know, you might know how to sell properties, but do you know how to hire and manage people? It's like, you know, one thing I like about Remote Latinos is they really vet the people for me, and then there's a ton of follow-up on making sure you guys are meshing well, and there's continued oversight, so you don't have to just, you know, do it yourself. But that's huge. I think you've got to do reviews with your people too, and just understand their mindset, where they're at, like what's working for them, what's not. That's one thing we ask every Thursday meeting. It's basically, hey, what did you find that worked this week, and what's one thing you want to work on? Meaning, you know, I don't have to say, hey, you failed at this thing. Basically, they call it out themselves and say, hey, I want to work on this better because I think this will improve, you know, the conversion rate or the response rate or whatever, whatever it is. But I think also just understanding the market and realizing I need to target larger deals. Like if I'm going to actually reach some of those higher profit margins, like I can no longer take the, you know, the $10,000 land plays. Like I've got to really focus on the 100K, 200, 300K type deals. And so that just increases the profit margin per deal, and we're basically doing the same amount of work. And so I'd be very happy if we do less deals but higher profit margins per deal. And so that's kind of a pivot I'm looking at making the rest of the year, but also, you know, focus more on these seller finance and the creative finance deals, because cash flow is king, not just cash. So cash flow to make sure the marketing never stops, and just having kind of my thumb on that lever.
Yeah. Okay. So right now, what do you think at this current moment are the current gaps that you're seeing with building that team? Just curious.
Yeah, probably cash flow, because I think like the more cash flow I can consistently have, the more confidence I have to hire more people, and just, you know, leverage more VAs, leverage their time. That being said, I did get rid of a VA because I was able to build out some automation, like to do the due diligence. And so I don't really like the concept of AI replacing people, because like right now I'm empowering my VAs to use AI to multiply themselves versus hiring more VAs. So I think, you know, just helping your team already become more efficient is part of the plan going
Kind
forward.
of like giving them like 5 more arms, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and it helps build consistency across the team too, not just improving something for one person, but, you know, it's transparency, it's accountability, it's, you know, all these checks you can build in, just make that one person more efficient.
Okay. So why do you think cash flow is a current problem? Is it like it's taking longer to close the deals?
Yeah, this market is a little funny. Just post-war, you know, interest rates going up when people thought they were going down. And so it's hasn't been as consistent lately, but again, I'm going to build my business so it works in any market. And so that's why I'm like trying to figure out like what are the ways we can do to make it consistent regardless. Because if you can make it really work in this market, then when the market's good, it'll just be that much better. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because definitely market conditions. I mean, we need to set up sometimes the business to be able to follow the market condition trends or market condition shifts and so on. And sometimes that's tough because it's unpredictable. However, real estate, because it's cycles, you can always go back to what has happened historically in the past. And what were people doing when, you know, a recession hit? What were people doing when economy was bad? Like, and so what is that you found from, I don't know if you have coaches or anyone that kind of advises you or something, or are there other land businesses that have done?
It seems like, really innovating kind of quarterly at this stage in the game, because there's so many new things that are coming out constantly. And again, you gotta, it's simplifying at the same time you're innovating, because we're not in there's no more like get rich quick in this business. Like, you've got to be smart, and you've got to not just hope for the best. You've got to have that higher level mindset of, I'm going to figure this out. I know there's a way, and really, again, leverage other, not just other people, but there's so many platforms that have already been built that do what we're doing well, and you can just use those. It's like, you don't have to learn the whole thing and build out the whole thing yourself. It's like, just be willing to leverage what already works out there, and don't try to build something new from the ground up. That's what I recommend in this day and age, because there's so many things already there for you.
It sounds like your traffic, the traffic that you have of leads and opportunities, it's you have 6 contracts from 18 leads. That's about 33% conversion ratio, right? That's phenomenal. But I guess the throughput of it is what's currently, like, you're trying to figure it out. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, the dispo side, because it's easier to acquire properties right now than it is to sell them. And so the throughput, I hate, like, anytime I have to cancel a deal, like, I hate it. I just had to do one last week, like, and that one hurt, because it was like 6 months worth of work. These, each, it might cost $3,500, cost per contract, whatever. And so that's just money you don't get back. And, like, that's just honesty. But the seller didn't disclose some things that, we should have been able to figure out right from the beginning. And so we modify our system and we say, hey, now this is part of our conversation. We make sure we know every lien, every loan, whatever's not uncovered, we uncover that from the beginning, so that at the end there's no wasted time or cancellations. And so, again, it's just constant improvement, right? Like, don't let a failure go by without putting a fix in place.
Yeah. So now you created this, basically a I call it playbooks of how to do in that specific scenario, when you didn't know what to do. But I bet, like, for example, who are the biggest land companies that you know out there? Like, the biggest land wholesaling, land flipper.
I mean, a lot of them are now selling softwares and doing their own thing, like Land Insights, or Jack Bosch, or all those major players. Them because then they're now selling something, not just keeping quiet and flipping land still. Like, they figured it out, so they're going to share what they know. So but yeah, that's
okay. And you said you have a cohort of what? Like, I saw in the comments, JT asking for this. What is that?
That's I had a bunch of land people in my network just reach out and they say, hey, can you teach us what you're doing in AI? Because there's all these AI boot camps and AI for business and AI, but nothing's really specific to land and real estate. And so basically, I'm taking 4 weeks at a time and teaching people to speak AI, really, because it's a whole different language, right? And so they're getting on board with learning the language so that they can build out their AI land partner themselves. It's like teaching a man to fish, right? Versus just giving him fish. Like, we're showing you how to actually not just get caught up in the AI space, but kind of be the leader of it with
That's
the
cool.
way you use it. Yeah. So it's it's been awesome, and people are just so surprised how many ways you can actually use it. So
Okay, so
yeah.
at some point in the office hours, you can give us like a taste of like what does leveraging AI on the business right now. You're doing it, so maybe people can ultimately, you know, assist those cohorts, because that will be very, very interesting. That will be very, very useful and helpful for people.
Yeah, and I like, you guys can, it's amazing. Like, you can build anything with it now. Like I've shared before, landcomp.ai is something I built just to comp a land parcel in 30 seconds, right? And we just released it for beta testers. It's like $9 a month. Anybody can use it. And so we're working out the kinks, but it's like landcomp.ai does all the research, does all the back end pulling comps. It weights the averages, it takes the property details, and it does all of that, where it took an hour and a half to do that before and build a report and understand it. And now we have something we can actually even send to the client with the offer, if it makes sense. So that way you can, you know, show where we got our numbers from, not just a blanket lowball offer.
That's crazy. I'm just looking at this platform. You even have a mobile app now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it does have an extension too, so it works in your browser, whether you're using, you know, land.com, Zillow, Redfin, whatever. It'll pop up like kind of as a separate window and give you the average comps for whatever property you're looking at on that page. And so
yeah, I see it right here. And then you can get the app also. And you built all of this Claude code?
No, this one, have you guys heard of Lovable?
Yeah, Lovable.
Yeah, Lovable is amazing. It's getting way more powerful. And so I did some integration with Claude and Lovable to build this. And so it's been awesome. And so this works on, you know, like 70% of the deals, because it's only as good as what public data is out there, right? Like that's what it pulls from. It pulls from MLS, it pulls from different data sources. But then the human side of it, this is what I teach everybody on the cohort. Like, it's artificial intelligence needs like real intelligence. Like, it needs your brain to span that little 30% gap at the end to make sure what you're doing is legit. So
No, I love this.
But yeah, I love being able to just build tools that I need for my business, because I understand how to use it. So
yeah. All right, sweet. Guys, if you guys have any questions, drop in the chat. If not, thank you, Bryan, for being part of this, brother. And
for sure.
We definitely would love to have like a session of you showing us how you use AI, and maybe people get motivated to join the cohorts as well, you know?
Yeah, well, what I like I can help you guys out like with houses too, because I think that's a huge need as well, like in the house flipping space, and being able to analyze deals pretty quickly. So
sweet, that's awesome. All right, Bryan, how can people find you real quick or follow you?
Yeah, just, you can also, I put my email in the chat there, but also Land Made Easy on YouTube. I'm trying to get more videos up there, so you know, support me there. That'd be awesome. And then yeah, again, on my website, landmadeeasy.com is a contact page on there. So
there you go. Land Made Easy. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone follow Bryan on Land Made Easy at the YouTube channel. You know, give him some love. He's going to be putting a lot more content on land and so on. I think you guys, you know, you guys are doing something good if you're in a holiday, just taking some massive profit. So thank you so much, everyone that assisted here: Victoria, JT, Paula, and Mr. David Payne.
Now you've seen exactly how Bryan went from scattered lead sources to a predictable automated land wholesaling machine generating multiple six figures. And there's a specific system he's building next that could take his business past 7 figures. And we're going to break down exactly how operators like him are doing it. Every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we bring in operators and experts breaking down what's actually working for real estate investors right now, completely free. Stay tuned for what's coming next. Link to join the community is in the description. We'll see you there.